In this tutorial we start learning a Queen Studio Macro Effects editor. Open a Macro Effects editor and create new macro effect using the button plus. Specify any name using the Latin letters, figures and underline. You can rename your macro effect name if required. Or delete it. Macro effect is automatically stored in the Macro Effects folder with the specified name and extension MEF. What is the macro effect? This is a predefined sequence of actions are executed at the specified moments of time. We can present macro effect a table of actions with the rows as a time events. Time column shows an absolute time of the action executing since the macro effect is started. Offset column is a calculated value from time, and it indicates a time offset of the action in the relation with the previous action in the table. And these three columns show what exactly we are going to do. Type of action, the object we make an action with, and the parameter or value we assign to this object in the action. Now we will explore the macro effects types in details. The first object type is dummy. This is an empty action and it means nothing to do. The next object type is reset. It reset all objects to the default or disabled states. Electronics switches off, music stops playing and so on. Out action allows to select any electronic object, attach to the relay and switch it on or off. PWM action allows to select PWM electronic object and set its value, like RGB LED brightness. Stroboscope action allows to set a stroboscope effect on any PWM object, specifying a stroboscope frequency, low or high. Play command starts playing the music on the specified audio channel, with a specified sound file name. Volume command sets a volume for playing of the specified audio channel with a range from 0 to 100. Stop command stops playing the music of the specified audio channel. Send command sends a command to a specified remote Queen abonent over the network, like giving a clue on the TV. And the log command writes a message to a specified logger. Let's make a simple macro effect, leaving the logger action first. Now we will make a slow brightness grow up of the green channel of RGB LED strip. After that, in 1 second we turn on the smoke generator. At the same time we start playing the sound effect at the foreground channel. Usually 4 channel is used for the sound effects, background channel is used for the background music, and voice channel is used for the voice announcements and clues. Different channels can play in parallel. Let's set a volume of our sound effect to 75 of 100. After smoke starts fill the room area, in half of second, we make a stroboscope effect of the green light. And finish it after the second and a half. At the moment we finish stroboscope, we switch off the green light, and switch off a smoke generator. So, let's set up macro effects for our escape room damned amulet. First macro effect we should make is the tune. It will be executed automatically when Game Master press the tune button on the navigator. Tune is used to recharge an escape room, and usually it is necessary just to switch maximum light for the game mazer and switch on all of the electromagnetic locks to close the doors and caches. You can do it as following. The next macro effect is called Ready. It will be executed automatically as well, when Game Master press the Ready button on the navigator. This mode we assume to use as a waiting mode, after Game Master recharged everything and waits for the players. Usually we just switch off the light but keep electromagnetic locks enabled. Let's start with a scenario. The first macro effect we will call in the begin of the stage 15 puzzle. It will start a background music, and set up a poor red lighting. Note, if you want to make sound repeating, specify a loop keyword after the file name. It is normally for the most background music. The next macro effect will be executed when players go to the snake search state, in the begin of the stage. It just plays a sound effect of the door opening and slowly grow up the light brightness in the second room. The next macro effect will turn on an ultraviolet lamp with a sound effect. And this one will open a chest lock with a sound effect. We will make a sound effect when the snake statuette is removed as well. Also, let's add the light switch off while UV lamp is enabled. We can do it as following. And now let's insert these macro effect to our scenario. In order to do this, we will open a scenario editor, add macro effects to the proper places and remove needless expressions, due to the most of actions went from the expressions to the macro effects. When adding a macro effect, you can select a macro effect from the list, specify a wait flag and count of repeat in a loop parameter. Wait flag force queen scenario to stop while macro effect is playing. If wait flag is not specified, the macro effect is executing in parallel with the game flow. Specify loop if you need to repeat the macro effect several times. The value in loop is the count of macro effect repeats. If it's clear, let's go on, otherwise I advise to watch this part of the video one more time. Let's go on the same style. The next macro effect will be executed in the snake door stage. Begin. We change a background music here and make a slow red channel brightness grow up with a stroboscope effect. The next macro effect will prepare a final room with a smoke and lighting. After that, the stage guard blind is started and the following macro effect will be executed on the begin of the stage. It just set up initial electronic states. Laser on macro effect will be executed each time when laser goes to the active state. It switches on the laser with a sound effect and reduces the light brightness. Laser off effect, in contrast, switches off the laser, and increases the light brightness. Amulet chest init macro effect will be executed in the begin of the corresponding stage, right after the guardian is blinded, and it will play a guardian scream sound effect, switch off the laser and slowly grow up the brightness. Final init macro effect will be executed in the begin of the final stage, when the chest with amulet is opening. It should open the chest, set up a blue lighting in all escape room area and set one more smoke effect for 10 seconds. And the last macro effect is called the win. It is executed automatically if players did the win condition. In our case, when they apply an amulet to the magic symbol, we switch off all the lighting. After that, we make a thunder and lightning effect, using LED lighting and stroboscopes. And in the end we open the entrance door as a way out for the winners. Now, let's insert this macro effects into the scenario, as we did before. Perfect. Now we make some fixes and correct mistakes. First, we forgot to open door to the second room. Second, let's reduce the volume of Guardian's scream due to its too loudness. Third, let's add a new background music in the end of our escape room. And the last thing, we forgot to insert a snake door init macro effect in the begin of the stage. Some cosmetics, like timing correction, and it's over. Now we can close all windows to start testing our escape room. Some preparations, like setting up the snake on the pedestal, and we are ready. Game Master presses the tune, charges an escape room, and goes to the ready state while waiting. When the player's inside, he presses a start button and the game begins. Music starts playing, I stop speaking, let's test the scenario with a sound accompaniment. Tests were done successfully, and our imaginary team won. Let's close an emulator and switch off everything by pressing the reset button. The tests are over, and if it was a real escape room, the next step would be to test it on the real hardware in the real room to adjust the lighting brightness and the sound volume. See you soon.